Welcome everyone to Monday Morning Morons for March 12th, 2018. This week, let's begin with one that seems rather stupid and frankly unnecessary. Iowa Dems claim free speech bill would legalize discrimination. Okay, so first, let me be clear. I wholeheartedly support everyone's right to free speech. Say what you want to say, even if you're a jackass. In fact, I want people to be free to say stupid shit so I can point and laugh at it. Now, here we have the Iowa State Senate trying to pass a free speech bill. Why? Is Iowa exempt from the First Amendment to the federal Constitution or something? Do people in Iowa not already have the right to free speech? Yes, of course they do. So, seems rather unnecessary to pass another law that says the same thing, right? Well, it's complicated. Apparently, Iowa is one of those places where college campuses have free speech zones. Places specifically set aside where free speech is allowed. But since the entire campus exists within America, where free speech is already guaranteed, these free speech zones do not promote free speech, they restrict it to certain locations. Thus, the Iowa Senate is trying to fix that with this bill, which is, to be blunt, completely unnecessary. You don't need another bill to allow free speech. You just need to enforce the one you already have. Take these colleges to court and challenge these free speech zones as unconstitutional. Problem solved. But this bill does something else as well, and it's this point that the Dems were referring to when they claimed it legalizes discrimination. Republican State Senator Amy Sinclair recently introduced a bill that would require Iowa's public colleges and universities to formally recognize and respect the right of student organizations to impose religious requirements for leadership positions, as well as banning so-called free speech zones. Senate File 2344 was introduced in the wake of an incident at the University of Iowa where a university-recognized student group called Business Leaders in Christ was stripped of its recognized status after a student had accused BLNC of denying him a leadership position because he is openly gay. Okay, so here we see the part the Dems were opposed to. Denying someone a leadership position in an organization that's formed around beliefs directly opposed to his. Now, let me clarify a few things first. I have no idea how these campus organizations work. I was never part of one. I find them all ridiculous waste of time. And I've absolutely no idea what recognized status actually means in this context. Do they get some sort of university funding or something? I've no idea. If they do, then I'd say strip all clubs of that shit right away. Why the fuck public money is being used to fund someone's social club is beyond me in the first place, but back to the point. And Democratic Senator Herman Quirmbach nicely sums up the opposition for us with this. Should an organization, the student organization, have the right to form itself around a set of beliefs? I would say yes, he commented, but I believe that they do not have the right to discriminate on the basis of status. Anyone else see the problem here? What he's just said is, you can form a club around your beliefs just so long as those beliefs do not exclude people who do not share them. That's fucking retarded. There's just no other way to describe that statement. But beyond just being raw stupidity, he's also flat out wrong. It's called the right to free association, Mr. Senator, something I think you should at least have heard of before. Now this is where things get a tad bit complicated, and I had to actually do a little more research than I normally do, which irritates me. If you read the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, you won't find this one explicitly mentioned. So the first question is, does such a right even exist? Technically, no, but legally, yes. Like I said, it's a tad complicated. The Supreme Court unanimously ruled in a case back in 1958, NAACP versus Alabama, to protect the right of free association under the 14th Amendment. This case was about revealing membership lists to the state, which isn't the point of contention here, but Justice Marshall's decision contains the relevant part. Immunity from state scrutiny of membership lists is here so related to the right of members to pursue their lawful private interests privately and to associate freely with others in so doing as to come within the protection of the 14th Amendment. Freedom to engage in association for the advancement of beliefs and ideas is an inseparable aspect of the liberty assured by the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. This is where the right of free association is clearly expressed. Well, as clearly as you're going to get from a bunch of lawyers anyway. What he's saying is, you have the right to form clubs around a set of beliefs to promote those beliefs. So let's go back and look at what Mr. Quambach said again. Should an organization, the student organization, have the right to form itself around a set of beliefs? I would say yes, he commented. Right, so he's square on the first part, right? He agrees that you can form these clubs. What about the second part, though? Can you exclude people who do not share those beliefs? In short, yes. Again, the Supreme Court has already answered this question for us. Boy Scouts of America versus Dale, 2000. Applying New Jersey's public accommodations law to require the Boy Scouts to admit Dale violates the Boy Scouts' First Amendment right to expressive association. Government actions that unconstitutionally burden that right may take many forms, one of which is intrusion into a group's internal affairs by forcing it to accept a member it does not desire. So, Mr. Quambach and Iowa Dems may be opposed to this law, but it's irrelevant, because this law is unnecessary. What this law seeks to do is already done. This group can form around their beliefs, and they can exclude anyone they want to. Practically speaking, it's all irrelevant. Contrary to popular belief, the Constitution does not grant rights. Anything the government grants, the government can take away. What the Constitution actually does is grant the government certain powers. This was the genius of the American Constitution. Powers not enumerated in the Constitution remain with the people or the individual states. In fact, this point was so clear to the Founding Fathers that many thought the Bill of Rights was completely unnecessary. The Constitution did not grant the government any power over these things, so why would we need to explicitly state it? See why so few people in Washington are interested in the Constitution? It limits government, not the people. Perhaps we should be reminding people of that more often. Anyway, the sticky part in this particular case, are these clubs publicly funded? I don't know. If they are, they shouldn't be, and maybe that's the thing we should be fixing. But if they are, then they are not private clubs anymore and different rules apply. However, I start with the most basic of questions. Why would a gay guy want to be a leader of an organization that clearly does not share his beliefs? Could it possibly be that he didn't really want the position? Could it be that he attempted to get this position knowing full well that he couldn't, just so he could cry discrimination and get them stripped of their recognized status? Methinks that was the point. Careful with this tactic, progressives. Rules cut both ways. One day you might wake up to find that your exclusive clubs break those same rules. Oops. Too late. Sure you want to keep playing this game? Okay, well, that was a little more involved than my usual sarcastic, snarky quips. Let's put the soapbox away, Bob. What's next? University cancels leadership conference over lack of diversity. Yeah, that's more like it. Morons doing stupid shit. A Catholic university in Minnesota canceled a leadership conference it had planned to host in January after determining it had selected an insufficiently diverse pool of speakers. This year's second annual Leadership Imperative Conference was supposed to be held on January 19th at St. Catherine University. This event was intended to be an interactive leadership conference for emerging and current women leaders across industries. For emerging and current women leaders. Do you think maybe that led to your lack of diversity problem? Upon obtaining an email sent out to the speakers, the university stated that the conference was called off because the presenters who had been selected to speak at the conference did not reflect the diverse St. Kate's community of today, nor the world of tomorrow we are committed to creating. According to the author of the email, the cancellation was not due to the quality of the speaker's presentation materials or credentials. Rather, the organizers of this event insisted on modeling the ideal state today in everything we do. The blind process used to pick the speakers was based solely on the themes of the conference: explore your purpose, ignite your passion, and inspire excellence. This was designed to eliminate overrepresenting certain industries over others. Apparently, this process yielded results that led to a racial and ethnic blind outcome. Oh, of course. It was a color problem. Go figure. So you used a blind process to decide who was going to be invited based on the merit of their work and how it relates to promoting the goals of the conference. Which is a perfectly laudable thing to do, I might add. But then you looked at the list and said, oh shit, too many white women had good ideas. We better call this shit off. And that's how you reflect the world of tomorrow you're trying to build, huh? Judging people's worth by their skin color. And that's not racist. Let's see, what else is not inclusive this week? MIT librarian. Tech workplaces plastered with Star Trek posters, other geeky stuff is non-inclusive to women. Of course. Sorry, geeks, but reveling in your geekdom is just not inclusive, so stop it. You can go on liking all that sci-fi stuff you like, just keep it to yourself, okay? There's women around here, you know, and they don't like your stuff. Replace the Star Trek posters with travel posters. Don't name your projects or your printers or your domains after only male figures from Greek mythology, and just generally avoid geek references and inside nerd jokes, Borg added. Those kinds of things reinforce the stereotypes about who does tech. And that stereotype is the male nerd stereotype. Yeah, get some plants that dangle down into your neighbor's cubicle. Hang some finger paintings from your 2-year-old kids all over the walls. Maybe even get yourself a nice, totally not objectifying calendar like this one to hang on your wall. Make those ladies feel welcome. It's for your own good. By the way, notice the name? Borg. Quite appropriate, don't you think? Incidentally, Miss Borg, have you ever gone to a sci-fi convention of some sort? Something you might notice there if you look. What is that? Oh shit, it's women! Dressing up in costumes, being total geeks, and loving it. It's almost like women like this geeky shit too, huh? Yeah, fucking weird, right? Maybe the problem here is you, not women. Fuck off back to your own hole, Chris. Women are not the Borg, they have quite a wide variety of interests, and some of those just so happen to be the shit you don't like. Tough shit. You don't get to decide for everyone else. Alright, Bob, what's in the toxic masculinity bag this week? Connecticut co-ed punched boyfriend in face after breakup, police say. A Connecticut college student was arrested last week for allegedly beating up her boyfriend after he said he wanted to pull the plug on their relationship, police said. Fairfield University student Catherine Mahoney reportedly responded to the news of the breakup Thursday by allegedly punching her boyfriend in the face, the Fairchild Citizen reported. The boyfriend tried to calm down the 19-year-old by grabbing her shoulders before fleeing to a friend's dorm room, the newspaper said. Mahoney, who was charged with third-degree assault and disorderly conduct, first delivered a blow to the boyfriend's stomach before striking him in the face. The victim said he took himself to a nearby hospital to receive treatment for a bloody and swollen nose, the paper reported. Wait, what? How could they charge her with a crime here? She's the victim. How dare that patriarchal shitlord choose to break up with her? That's the clearest case of male entitlement I've ever seen. Quick, get this girl in touch with the local feminist bishop. We have to rectify this injustice. He should be in jail because patriarchy. Okay, let's wrap it up with the funny. Connecticut man facing stolen car charge drives stolen car to court. What? Why does he still have the car? Didn't they take it away when they arrested him the first time? A man already answering to a stolen car charge drove another stolen car to court in Connecticut Wednesday. Oh. Well, at least he showed up for court, I guess. Maybe the cops should just give him a ride to the next hearing, huh? Save him from having to steal yet another car to get there. Clearly, he's never heard of a taxi. That's it for this week, folks. Remember the mantra, Women are victims, men are oppressors, and feminism is just about equality. I'll see you all next time.